film, Boys in the Trees. Go check it out on Netflix. And then since he promoted My Haunted House, I want to talk about Haunted Things, which is kind of takes that same structure and just tells they got some new a bunch of new stories, which is on Travel Channel.
Maybe that was where My Haunted House was on Travel Channel.
I think
Haunted Things.
Yeah, I think My Haunted House was on Biography, and that's why, because I don't get that station. And but anyway, yeah, Travel Channel. Check them out. They have the Ghost-tober stuff going on all month, and they have some really good stuff that they're playing hours and hours and hours of back to back.
They're doing a 4-hour live feed of Ghost Adventures episode on Halloween. I know you're not a big fan of Ghost Adventures, Chris.
Not anymore.
Yeah, but
where are they going to be, or what are they doing?
I don't know where. There's you can look it up, but I don't really. I just heard that it's going to be a 4-hour long live event.
I think they did the Exorcist house one with Halloween.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah, the house in St. Louis where that
last year, right? So last year.
I don't remember what year it was.
I remember that happening.
I thought that they did that one Halloween.
Yeah, but that's coming out too. So
yeah,
cool.
Check out Travel Channel.
Yeah, they got some pretty cool ghost stuff.
Yeah, they had Mysteries at the Museum. That was a good show too.
That's a cool show. Yeah.
I also really like the History of Horror with Eli Roth.
I was going to recommend that the other day, or the other week, but I totally forgot.
They really go into, like, each episode, it's about an hour, and they dedicate it to something...
like a specific genre.
Yeah, they did that with the sci-fi, with James Cameron and sci-fi, I don't know...
Oh, yeah.
That was last
4,
year,
5,
right?
6 months ago, sometime, yeah. And that was actually really good. It was really extensive. So I'm recording the History of Horror. I just won't watch it until I probably have all the episodes stacked up.
I was really mad because on demand they only have the zombie one.
Really?
And that's it.
So it's just the first episode?
Yeah.
They'll probably release them after they all come out.
Yeah.
Just get you hooked.
I'm excited.
Well, I think they just had 2 new ones between like Sunday and Monday.
Because they started on the 14th.
Yeah.
And
so they would have had an episode this Sunday, but I think my DVR recorded a newer one on Monday as well.
Because it's Slasher Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah, I guess we're all done with Rex.
Yes.
We'll move into Hereditary.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now for the movie focus of the week.
All right, so we're talking about Hereditary tonight.
Yeah.
It's sitting high at an 89 on Rotten. It's written and directed by Ari Aster. It's starring Millie Shapiro, Alex Wolff, Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, and Ann Dowd. So for the synopsis, I wrote, the death of one family's grandmother sparks a series of increasingly horrible events. Will you be able to stay until the end?
Ooh. Spooky.
So what did you guys think of the film? I'll toss it down to you, James, since you hadn't seen this film. You didn't get to see it in the theaters, but you watched it, what was it, yesterday?
I watched it last night, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right before we went to sleep. So yeah, it was pretty eerie, man. It was dark. I get spooked pretty easy in movies. Mm-hmm. So like half the time when I think something's gonna happen, I'm kind of like, covering my mouth or like partially covering my eyes. That's how. That's what you can expect with me if we ever go to a movie that's scary. But yeah, it was good. Even I like scary movies because I like. I'm getting to like them more. But I hated watching scary movies when I was a couple years ago, just younger.
Yeah, before you met me.
Yeah, before you opened my eyes. No, but yeah, no, it was a really good movie. I liked it. I really recommend this movie if you haven't seen it. Can't believe I didn't see it sooner.
A24.
Yes,
Killing
which people seem to hate though.
This is their biggest.
Their movies, and their style.
Yeah, it was like, well, then don't go see, because this was the biggest horror film of the year, I think.
Yeah.
As far as, because I'm sure it was made for practically
nothing.
Yeah.
You mean the biggest horror film of this year so far?
For A24.
Oh, for A24.
Yeah. Like, that's their biggest...
I believe that you're right.
Grossing.
I think before this, I think Lady Bird was their biggest hit, and this made $1 million or $2 million more than that.
Oh, okay.
Which is impressive because of how kind of obscure the subject matter is.
Yeah.
It's very dark for it to be so talked about. Whether you love it or hate it, it sparked.
Well, I think that was the thing that kind of gave it some more business, was a lot of people really hated it. And, you know, as you guys might know, like, any publicity is good publicity.
Oh, yeah.
And
It
because
piques people's
people
interest.
hated it, you know, people would say, "Oh, well, why do people hate this movie so much?" I like to know
I want to
why.
see why. Yeah.
But those people are idiots.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Alyssa? What did you think about it?
I liked it.
Yeah.
To me, it wasn't scary. It was more weird for me. Because, like you said, we were getting ready to go to sleep, and I slept fine. I didn't have any nightmares. I was good.
How about you, James?
I think I woke up like once in the middle of the night. Well, I usually wake up in the middle of the night, and
He was looking at
I
the
actually
ceiling.
did look around. I was like, "Where is she? Where is she? Okay, I'm good. Go back to sleep."
I was going to be on the ceiling like,
So I turned on the TV and put something funny on to help change my thought process while I went to sleep.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I usually do that whenever we watch something scary or something that freaks me out. I'll put on I know you don't like it, but I'm a big fan of Friends, so I'll put it on and it helps me go to sleep.
Well, I'm not going to knock you for that. That's fine.
No, yeah, but it's something that kind of changes the tone.
you don't like Friends?
Nah.
Oh my god.
Honestly, I would watch Full House before I watch Friends.
That's fair.
I liked it.
But yeah, what did you, both of you, whoever wants to answer it first, what did you guys think when you first saw this?
I'll let you go first, Chris.
What were your expectations before?
I don't know what my expectations were. I think we probably got into this before. Is I don't like. This is kind of a weird thing for me to say, considering I just told you that I really like Halloween. I'm not like big into like the slasher and like jump scares. I don't really think that that's horror.
Yeah.
Horror to me is something that is going to scare the shit out of me like a week from now when I'm home alone.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
I heard something in the other room.
And like I walk through a room too fast and wonder like, what was that I just saw out of the corner of my eye? That's what's scary to me. So a movie like this, this is what I really enjoy. Like something that's really going to disturb me later on. And I don't remember. I remember seeing a trailer for it, but I don't remember being like super pumped. It was just that looks like it might be a pretty good, pretty creepy movie. I want to go and check that out. And what's funny is, I think Wesley and I saw it on the same night. Like we both went to like a late show at separate theaters, and I had texted him right when I got out of it and said, "Oh, like this movie's insane, man! It's nuts." And he's like, "Dude, I just got out of it. Like I agree." And I really like it, and I can see where a lot of people wouldn't, probably because they were expecting a more traditional, like, you know, My Bloody Valentine movie or something. You know, with people jumping out of the closets at you, like in a chainsaw, with the chainsaw and the hockey mask on. But no, I really like it. I think that, like a lot of other movies that usually are universal, no, I don't want to say universally hated, but a lot of people really hate it, is that they went in expecting something totally different.
Yeah.
And this is what you got instead, which I would argue is just as much about like a really intense family drama as it is a horror movie. I mean, the clip that Wesley played at the beginning of the show there, I think, is probably the best scene in the film. And it's not horror. It's just
you can just all that tension.
Yeah, all that tension that had built up. And you know, when Toni Collette explodes on Alex Wolff.
Yeah.
Like that's a really intense, really emotional scene, and there's nothing scary about it.
Yeah.
Other than it's kind of grounded in reality.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways.
What you, Wes?
I don't know. This film is it was intense, man. I went to see it in the, like he said, in the theater, and I was kind of blown away because it's one of those films that it's impossible to see the twists and turns coming.
Oh yeah.
You know, by the time you get to the end, it's like you feel like it's just like a gut punch. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
How did this even get
How did
released
you get to this point?
in the theater?
Yeah.
You know.
Man, there's a couple of really gruesome scenes in it.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, and then some of the like dream sequences and stuff too.
Oh my, yeah, I'm sure we'll get into that. But that dream sequence with the ants, and then that turns into her yelling at him, and then they're both like covered in the paint thinner. That was nuts.
That was insane.
Yeah. And I just feel like you kind of go on this roller coaster, this kind of descent into madness through this family, and they kind of lead you to believe that they're just going crazy, and then there's more than meets the eye once you really get into the thick of things.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
I don't mean to cut you off there.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I think that it has this like really building tension throughout the entire film.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's some pretty crazy things that happen, but that it builds and builds and builds, and that last act is fucking batshit.
Yes.
But it gets really crazy at that part. But it doesn't feel like this was one movie and then it all of a sudden turns into another one. It's just been slowly building and building and building, and you hit that last act and it goes crazy.
What I think is so masterful about this one is that it's so good at relaying this feeling of dread.
Yes.
Through the entire, from frame one to when it closes, you never lose that feeling. You know what I mean? It's like they totally ditch the haunted house kind of traditional scare
Conventional
tactics
type of,
for this emotional, like really pulling at your core, where it's not, and it doesn't even have to. It's not horror, but it's kind of frightening in the way that this could,
It could be a real thing or something that's
maybe not the whole cult.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But these kind of problems really exist in in families, and that's what's really hard hitting, I would say.
Well, it's very much about like grief and trauma.
Yeah.
And about what one family goes through when
how they deal with it.
Yeah, when someone passes away, when someone dies, especially that 1-2 punch of losing the mother, and then right after that losing the daughter.
Yeah.
And it's very much about how people deal with something like that.
Yeah. I would agree.
When Charlie died, and there's that scene with the mom on the floor crying and like yelling her name, that like really got to me. Like I felt it in my soul, like that scream, that almost like regret of her, like, man, I shouldn't have like told her to go to that party, like this wouldn't have ever happened. Like just that feeling, I was like taken away. Like I felt that.
Yeah.
And it would connect with you guys more because you're parents.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like one feeling I don't ever want to feel. And
I wasn't expecting that to happen at all. When that happened, I was like, they're gonna get to the hospital. And then she sticks her head out the window and she's like, and then he swerves.
It's in the back of your head, but you're like, that's not where they're going with it.
Well, what's funny is, I don't want to say that's funny, but
Oh, that was hilarious. What a good scene.
I don't remember the trailer, but I think I remember like the marketing. Like Millie Shapiro, who plays Charlie, is on the poster for the movie, and she was very much like in that trailer. And you think it's going to be like about a weird, creepy kid, and
That's
half hour in the movie,
They
she
really,
dies.
they really trick you.
Yeah.
With the marketing.
Yeah, it pulls the switcheroo, like, at the end of that first act, or who you thought was probably going to be the main focus of the film is dead.
She's still around. Technically, she is the main focus, but not in the essence.
Yeah, not in the traditional
That she's
way.
like a real main, character in, alive still and stuff. But that scene when the mother, when she's working on her models, right? And then she turns the light off and the mom's like standing there in the corner. I was like, what the fuck? When that happened?
See, and that's the stuff that really scares me, is that stuff that's in the dark that you're not really sure if you see it or
You can
not.
see, it's like
is there
faded,
something there?
a faded,
Yeah.
you can see her, but it's faded and she's in the dark shadows.
Almost looks like a photograph.
Yeah.
Yeah, because